think that the taint tends so often to last longer than the justification for it. I think Nokia is an extremely good example of this at the moment. We don't know which way Nokia is going to go. We may have got this wrong, I don't know. But our view of Nokia is that you have an enormous amount of downside protection because of their stakes in Navtech, NSN, and they've got 5.4 billion euros of cash. And then there is the intellectual property. And we've seen a whole row of deals recently, Motorola Mobility, the Nortel liquidator selling assets which were largely intellectual property, which initially had a price tag of 900 million and ultimately went for 4.5 billion. And then a deal involving Nokia and Apple themselves. So several deals which allow a sort of read across to the value of Nokia's intellectual property. And it's difficult to be exact about this because the disclosure is not all that full, but we think that their intellectual property portfolio is probably worth between 10 billion euros and 20 billion euros. And the market cap of Nokia at the moment is about 14 billion euros. So you've got extremely good downside coverage before you consider what is their prime business, which is making handsets. And we don't yet know whether they're going to pull this off successfully or not, the joint venture with Windows. But what they have done is effectively to cannibalize, to destroy their existing smartphone business, because in announcing that they were putting all their trust in the Windows joint venture, they effectively killed off Symbian. Nobody goes into a shop these days and says, please, I particularly want a handset which has Symbian software. And so Symbian is having a disastrous time, and that was entirely to be expected once they had made that announcement round about last April, shortly after Mr. Elop made that speech about the burning platform. However, I think that this is a typical clash between the short term and the long term. In the short term, people say we're going to have some appalling quarters from Nokia, and they're dead right. I think the long term, it says, there is all this value. There is an extremely decent probability that the Lumia joint venture will be successful and that the smartphone share will rise to 12 or 13%, something of that sort. And if that's the case, then the upside in Nokia is huge. And so that's our position. I think there is a tremendous clash in Nokia's case between the voting machine aspect of the stock market and the weighing machine aspect.